Welcome to Drop the Puck. We're here at Deeside Leisure Centre for the Moralee battle between the Deeside Dragons and Nottingham Lions. Ben, this looks like a good one on paper.
It really does. Nottingham, you know, just above the Dragons in the table there. It's a little bit scrappy affair, and every time, you know, the Lions and the Dragons meet, there's always that, you know, simmering tension just bubbling under the surface. But I've got a feeling tonight the Dragons could be, you know, the thorn in the Lions' paw.
Whoa, now, key you should say that because it's interesting. Last time the Lions were here playing the Dragons, they came out losers 7-5. It was a really good battle, but then on the return leg down in Nottingham, I think they finished something like 12-2, was it, or something like that? Yeah, 12-2. So it'd be interesting to see whether the Dragons can find that form again and try and pinch a win, a much needed win, because it sees, coming into tonight's game, the Nottingham Lions currently in 9th position and the Dragons sitting in 10th. They're only a couple of points above them. This is a must-win game for the Dragons.
Certainly, you know, Captain James Parsons is going to want to go out there with his team, grab this game by the scruff of its neck, and drag home the win. They've got the ability to do it. We know from previous games they've got the heart to do it. It's one thing we are aware, looking quickly at the team sheets before we got here tonight. It's the manpower, can that do it? Because unfortunately the Dragons will be a bit short bench tonight. Yeah,
time is taking its toll on them and players leaving and what have you, but we know it's been a tough season for the Dragons in the Moralee. We know they're rooted at the bottom of the conference, but they're desperate to try and fight their way out, and games like this are certainly those opportunities that they must take. Obviously the Dragons come into tonight after losing 14-0 to Billingham, so they're going to need to try and battle their way out of this quickly. I don't know what they can do, but other than that, I think it's going to be time to go down to the ice, and I think it's time to
drop that puck. As we get this first period underway here at the Deeside Leisure Centre. Puck drops and we're off immediately. It's a Deeside win on a face-off by James Parsons, and immediately you will notice that the Dragons are looking a little short-benched, Gary. It's going to be a tough fight for them.
Yeah, it's a good bench on the Lions side, but as we always say here on Drop the Puck, there's only 5 people on the ice at any one time that can make an impact. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, Chris Jones chasing that puck up there, but going to be pushed into the defensive zone. Lions look to play that out, try and play it up to levers. Oh, it's picked up very quickly there by Stanley. Stanley takes it in, goes round Richardson. Whoa. Shot. And the referee's just going to blow that dead.
Yeah, it looks like Lukovic took a bit of a knock there when he fell.
So in between the pipes tonight for the Dragons is new signing Lewis Edwards. Edwards only had a couple of games for the Dragons so far. And his counterpart in the opposite net is going to be Sam Gospel. As they break forward now very quickly, Pywell looks to take it round, but it's cleared off the boards by the Dragons. Try to play that back in, picked up very quickly by Hughes. Oh. Hughes tries to push that up to Pywell. Played into the corner. Dragons managed to dig that out, try and play it off the board with Parry. Puck's put back in. Edwards sees first sign of rubber tonight and freezes that out. Levers with the draw win there for the Nottingham Lions. And Stanley puts that straight into the corner. Picked up by Chris Jones of the Dragons. Oh, out in front in the slot. Ooh. Loose puck again, and then it's in.
It's in.
And it's Paul Stanley with the opening goal of this game here. 1 minute 26 on the clock. Gary left wide open in that slot.
Yeah, puck was floating around in front of the Dragons net, and Stanley pounced on it as quick as he could, slots it straight up into there. And the Lions take a 1-0 lead. Dragons 0, Lions 1.
Face off between Pinnock and Davis. It's Pinnock who wins it, but quickly picked up by Jones. Jones goes to break forward with that, finds Davis on the wing. Davis takes it into the corner, turns back, tries to find his man, finds him at the blue line. Rotation comes round to Lukovic back at the point. Davis back high slot. Bennett in support, takes the shot. Ooh. Tries to use the traffic out in front of the net for a screen. Lukovic with the shot, looking for the deflection out front of the Dragons.
Oh, and it's
tied up on the boards in the net.
Oh, and here we go.
Push and shoving. We knew there'd be fireworks, Gary. There's always a fiery affair when the Lions come to town.
Yeah, there's. It's been spewing over since the last 2 games between these 2 teams, and I'm sure it's not going to stop now.
Face off to the right of Gospel, won by the Lions. Try and clear it out, but it's only to Wainwright's stick on the point. Wainwright looks to put it in, tries to find Parry. Great poke out the way there was Gretton, but still dangerous times as the Dragons start banging on the door for their opening goal. But it's dug out the corner there by Stanley. Stanley pushes that up. He's able to find Levers. Oh, back out in the slot. Davis gets his stick on it crucially, turns that away and takes it out of the danger zone. And the Dragons breathe a sigh of relief. Stretch pass up towards Davis. Can't reel it in. Levers picks it back up. Tries to take it round Parry. Parry staying with him. Into the corner. Support at the blue line. 7:30 gone in this first period. Shot comes in.
Oh, good save.
Edwards, great leg pad save there.
I think he saw it slightly late.
Able to shut that 5-hole up very quickly. Off the boards, and he's going to dump that into the Nottingham zone. Quick change for the Dragons. As Pinnock in the corner. On the board, Shaw tries to play that out. But it's dug out and brought up by Nottingham. Pywell takes a shot, great glove save there from Edwards. And we must note to our viewers that although you can see number 8 Morgan icing for the Dragons, the shirt tonight is actually being worn by other later signing for the Dragons, and that's James Shaw.
Yeah, it's nice to see James on the ice for the Dragons. I'm sure he'll enjoy his time here.
As that's dumped on net, Gospel's able to just calmly pass it off to his defender as he sits behind his own net.
And so far, with just under 9 minutes gone in this game, both sides looking to try and get a grip.
Very much so as Gretton puts that in. Lukovic chases it to the corner against Hughes. Dragons are able to clear that out. Enough on it to put it down into the other end of Shaw. It was in a bit of a foot race. And the shout's coming from the Dragons bench saying he'd have made it there. They're trying to say it wasn't an icing call. Face-off won by the Dragons, 13:58 in this first period gone so far. And despite... Ooh, good shot there from Jones. Despite what most critics had on paper and pundits, Dragons holding the Lions off to just a solitary goal so far.
Yeah, it's early days, but it'd be interesting to see if the Dragons can maintain this pressure.
And the Dragons have been caught out. Massive stretch pass. It's a 2-on-1 situation.
Oh,
Edwards does enough, but the follow-up's there.
Oh, dear. And a mistake by Edwards. He manages to stop the initial hit, puts his hand on it, sprawls out, but the puck comes loose. And there's a Lion just sitting there, waiting to pounce on it. Taps it in for the second. Dragons 0, Lions 2.
Face-off won by the Dragons in their own defensive zone. Look to clear that puck out immediately. Go back into the corner though with Stanley. Stanley tries to find a man out in front of the crease. And again, Dragons trying to do enough to clear it out. Nottingham just doing enough to put it back in. Picked up. Tries to go high.
He didn't know where that was.
Levers tried to catch out Edwards there. Put it along the boards. Tied up with the official. We're going to have ourselves a call there.
Yeah.
That's an icing call.
As we look back on that replay of that, Edwards didn't see that puck as it flicked up across his face mask and rolled down. And the Dragons were lucky to get that away then.
Dumped it off and found Pywell. Pywell has the puck taken off him now by Davis. Davis under pressure from Stanley. Keeps that puck alive. 30 seconds remain. And the Dragons are just going to want to see this game out to the buzzer. Unless he can get a consolation goal as he come in now. It's Jones. It's Parry, sorry. Parry was unable to get the second bite of that cherry on the deek. Stanley, though, takes a shot.
Oh, it's gone in! Oh,
it's gone through Edwards' legs.
Oh!
Stanley just sees that split-second opening. And Lewis Edwards unable to get down in time.
Yeah, he picked his opportunity there, just smacked the puck straight up the ice towards the Dragons' goal, and it trickles in to the left of the keeper. And what can you say? The Dragons 0, Lions 3.
Welcome back to part 2 of Drop the Puck as we get the action underway shortly. And it's another face-off win there for the Dragons. We get good momentum start. It's going to be Winters down this near wing. Shot comes in, Edwards goes across, sees that out. And the Dragons are going to have to do a lot in this second period to try and get themselves back in this game. Goal certainly is on the to-do list, Gary.
Yeah, certainly. They've got to try and peg something back on a 3-0 lead that Lions have over them at the moment.
Into the corner, out in front. Oh, Sunday Gospel goes to go on the wraparound. Back in Parsons. Goodness. Gospel's denied him.
Well, it's a good start.
Face off, won by Nottingham this time as he drive it out of their own zone. Great check there from Wainwright. It's dumped in now. Nottingham had to come out to reset. Dragons with the puck. Davis. Oh, dangerous as he stops that for Hughes. Hughes jumps on the loose puck. Edwards chests down the shot. And Pinnock tries to go in the corner. Parry's there, tie up on the corner. Against the boards. And Wainwright just cuts everything out there, says my puck, and drives it forward. Finds Bennett. Bennett takes it onside. Davis goes to go tight angle. Gospel denies. Parry's doing well to try and keep the puck alive for the Dragons. Does so. Off the board behind the net. Bennett's going to be there. And Bennett's seeing a lot more ice time these days than he was formerly used to, Gary.
Yeah, but while a short bench as they are, every player counts.
Indeed it does. 3 minutes 10 gone in this second period. Looking for a breakaway pass and they'll find it with Hughes. Hughes takes a shot. Oh, great deflection there from Jones. And now the Dragons are going to chase it down. Dragons use the time in the Nottingham zone for a change. And they're going to see a lot of that tonight. As Wilson skates that in. Wilson ties up there with Lukovic and there's equipment loose on the ice. Spridge in. Off the boards, finds Jones. Jones goes to go in. Andrews plays that back in. Finds Gretton. Gretton takes a shot. Great blocker save. And back in, Gretton. Lukovic drives him onto the boards there. And it tries to take it round Levers. Oh! Unable to. They jump straight on that and it's a Nottingham goal.
Well, that was quick and deadly. Getting that shot in there. Pounces on the puck. Shot into the top left-hand corner of the right of the keeper. And it's the Lions extend their lead now. It's Dragons 0, Lions 4.
Face-off won by Levers of the Lions. Wainwright cuts that out off the boards though. Tries to find Jones, but Levers intercepts that. The shot comes back in the end, goes wide round the boards. Picked up by Thomas. And now Nottingham trying to find a way through that white wall. And Dragons applying the pressure, but it's come to Stanley. Stanley, 3 goals to his name already tonight, Gary.
Yeah, he's having a great game so far. Dragons have got to find a way of closing the likes of him down.
As Wainwright picks that puck up from his own zone, lays it off to Jones, near side. Dumps it off to Wainwright. Wainwright tries to play it out in front. Gospel's done enough. It's with Parsons at the point. Puts that back in, looking for the deflection. Back in, Gospel.
And if in doubt, lie on it. Well, Dragons trying to stab one in there, but unsuccessful. Gospels covers it up.
6 minutes gone in the second period. And it's a face-off win for Nottingham. We spoke about it earlier, Gary, with the Dragons playing that dump and chase hockey, but we have noticed that obviously Nottingham are playing high man hockey, trying to draw that extra man that D-side are having in the zone out each time and catch him quick on the counter.
And it's been successful for them so far, but the Dragons have got to find a way of closing that down and at the same time get a goal on the scoreboard.
Spridgen just puts that round the boards. It's picked up by Gospel out of his net. Again, Bennett tries to keep that in, does so. Trying to catch him quickly on the counter on Nottingham, but Richardson plays that round to Spridgen. Back to Davis. Davis digs it off the board. Finds Spridgen. Spridgen puts a shot on him to run wide. Over goes Pywell. And now Nottingham playing out their own zone. Davis, in receipt of the puck, puts that back into his man on side. Shot comes in from Jones. Ooh. Straight into the chest of Gospel. Davis with the face-off win for the Dragons. Richardson takes a second to think about what he's doing and puts it in. It's cut out again as they're trying to find that high man in Hughes. And we've got an interference call against the Dragons. And there's a man going to the box for the Dragons. And that's number 7, Alex Parry, and Josh Richardson both going in.
Well, interesting.
So, we can see both men entering the box there. Parry still in deep conversation with the officials. Nottingham get that face off. We're into the final 10 seconds and a penalty on Richardson. And it's a 2+2 on Parry. As the penalty expires on Richardson. Both men enter back on the ice. It was a 2-minute penalty, in fact, to Alex Parry. So 2 minutes from Sportsmike for Parry. 2 minutes for...
Oh!
It's a breakaway. Edwards.
Oh, what a goal. So easy.
And with all the confusion of the men returning back to the ice.
Well, he picked that puck up and he was one-on-one with Edwards in the goal and casually dinks it left and right and slots it home. And the Lions extend their lead over the Dragons to Dragons 0, Lions 5.
Face-off is won by Nottingham with Thomas. Looks to put that in. Goes right on net. Edwards has to turn it out. And it's only come out to a Dragon's stick. Parsons now skates that up. Remember, the Dragons are still on the penalty kill here. Minute 15 remaining in that penalty. As we're a little over 3/4 into this second period. Nottingham bring that forward. Andrews takes it on. Takes a shot. Oh. Deflected off Jones' stick. Plays that back round for Stanley. Lukovic is there, puts Stanley down. Big, dumb clearance. But it's picked out the air and put back down. And the Dragons back in possession. Again, big dump into the corner from the Dragons. 30 seconds remain. It's picked up by a Dragon though. It's with Shaw. Shaw. Dragons out in front. Davis can't find the deflection.
It looked like he'd gone in then.
And that was very close, as you can see there.
Yeah.
Picked up by Lukovic, centre ice. Turns that back. We've got a bit of a call there from the official. Appears to be friction there between Lukovic and one of the Nottingham players, who's now being sent to bench, and that's Captain Mark Levers. No, sorry, it's Winters. Ryan Winters there.
Yeah.
So Ryan Winters being sent to bench. And for the next 7 seconds, Gary, we're going to have 4-on-4 hockey. Face-off won by the Dragons. 3-2-1. And now, Gary, for the first time in this game, the Dragons find themselves on the power play.
Well, they've got to make this count.
1 minute 43 remains in this power play now with the Dragons. Jones thinks about lining up the shot. Finds Wainwright, pulls the trigger. Deflection out front. Stabbing at the pickle, it's in! And it looks to be Parsons.
No.
Is it?
The official giving it.
It's either Parsons or Parry accredited with that. Well, the Dragons needed to use that power play to capitalise, and they have done.
It's the first time they got a chance. We said we sensed a goal coming, and it's come 16 minutes into this second period. Still a long way to go. The score is Dragons 1, Lions 5.
Welcome back to Drop the Puck, part 3, as we're about to get the action underway. And we do so there with a face-off between Pinnock and Parsons. But it's going to be the Lions who start this third period on the offensive. Andrews goes D to D with his teammate. Pushed up for Pinnock on the boards. Door shut on him by Richardson. And again, very early on, warning signs there for the Dragons. As the Dragons now chasing that into the corner. It's picked up with Lukovic. Plays that forward. Off the skate of somebody. It's come back. Behind his own net. Josh Richardson plenty of time. Plays it to Bennett. Quick dump forward for Davies to skate onto. Shot comes in, it's blocked.
And that went quite high into the nets.
As we come back now. And Andrews plays that off the boards. Round the back of the net, he looks out in front, Stanley. Edwards is down.
Stanley again looking to get that puck in the net for them.
Paul Stanley has been very lethal tonight for the Nottingham Lions. So play that puck forward. Shaw's on him to reel that in. Played off the boards. Turn back with the Lions. Find Hughes. Great pressure coming in from the Dragons. They go back behind their own net. Just holding that up. Big stretch pass forward. Deflection's picked up. And Hughes at the point puts that in. Edwards does enough, knocks it down. Onto the stick of Richardson. Tries to backhand it off the boards. But a heavy Nottingham forecheck. Pressure puts it back in. It's now with Davis. Davis bears to speed up the near side wing. Oh, great poke check there from the defensive. Shot comes in from Parry. Give us a for Tang. As we go off the bar.
Yeah.
Wainwright still with the puck.
They're knocking on that door.
Miscommunication amongst the netminder and the defenseman there. Dragons aren't able to capitalise. Nottingham clear it out. Parry picks it up back in his own blue. Just throws that on, dumped on into the Nottingham zone. It's going to be Thomas. Puts it open to Pinnock. Parry picks it over the point. Shots blocked by Pinnock. Parry loses his stick in the fray. Shaw picks it up. Round Parry's stick. Round Pinnock. Tries to spin off the check. Loses the puck. Gets it straight back.
Well, Shaw's playing a great game tonight.
Pinnock again depossesses. Pinnock's all over the ice, and so is Shaw. But Wainwright now with the puck. Trying to do enough to hold that puck up and get men back in the Lions' den. Lions sat back in there now. But they're broken away. The high man again. Levers gets the puck from Stanley, but it's turned out there by the Dragons. Find Jones. Jones winds up, pulls the trigger, goes wide. Nice hit there from Parsons. Oh, Jones uses his defenseman in the back. Crowd now getting behind the Dragons. Jones through centre ice. Tries to dump it in.
Well, the Dragons are certainly frustrating these Lions at the moment. The Lions can't seem to put anything constructed together. The Dragons putting this pressure on constantly, but so far nothing in the net.
8:50 gone in the third. Jones. Chris Jones passes it round Paul Stanley. And back to Matt Wainwright. Snapped stick there for the defensiveman. That's Lukovic. Ball with Davis. Davis tries to find Spridgen. Charlie Spridgen now in the corner. Fights and keeps it alive for the Dragons. Wainwright puts it back in. Davis is there to receive it. Dragons now flood the slot. Out in front. Oh, Spridgen can't get his stick on it fully. And Gary, I think your foresight's right. The Dragons are literally kicking this door in, trying to find the second goal.
Yeah, they've got to do something soon. Otherwise, time's going to run out on them. They're halfway almost through. Oh! Almost halfway through this third period now.
Gospel with a great leg pad save to keep the Lions in it. 10 minutes gone exactly now in this third and final period. Jones on Levers. Puts him back into his own zone. Spridgen's there. Levers turns him. Davis comes in with a great poke check. And it's going to be a slashing call. That's assessed to Ryan Jones.
Oh dear. And no sooner did we see the Dragons mounting that pressure, and they're down to 4 players already.
Face off won by the Lions after 3 times of asking.
Oh,
Stanley's jumped on there. Lukovic is coming over. Shot goes up and wide. Jones does enough to get on that. It's cut out very quickly by Poole. Back to Stanley. Puts that out in front of the Dragons bench. Kick back. Gretton tries pushing it forward again. Dragons are able to regain possession. Finds Jones open on the wing. Jones takes time, takes a shot. Ooh. Right off the shoulder there of Sam Gospel. And I tell you what, Gary, I would not want to be on the receiving end of a Chris Jones puck.
No, it looked like he pulled the trigger and fired that one. He would have took his head off.
15:57 in this third period. Face off won by the Dragons.
Oh.
Shaw picks that up, but as the door closed on him there by Gretton.
Well, it's like we were saying at the start of the programme.
And Pinnock, no, sorry, Stanley now. Lukovic does enough to take the puck off him.
Credit where credit's due. The 2 games between these 2 teams previously. Last time we were in this Dragons den, it was a close battle, 7-5 victory to the Dragons. The return game was an emphatic win for the Lions, 12-2. But tonight, the score doesn't reflect how close this game's been.
It really doesn't. As shot comes in, Edwards is down. Digging out in front, he's going to freeze that out. Face off won by the Dragons as they try and clear out their zone.
And then he takes out his own player.
Hoddle Finds a man round the board. Back to Hovell.
Lions are just looking for that avenue to get a puck fed into somebody. But the Dragons are doing enough to frustrate them at the moment.
So far, and Jones jumps on that loose puck and turns, puts his foot down. Takes it round his man. Tries to find a man in the slot.
Oh!
Parsons is unable to turn it in. Jones again gets a second bite. Cherry Spridgin.
Oh!
And it's out in front. Gospel denies Spridgin. Wainwright keeps it alive for the Dragons. Tied up on the boards. Going to be a Dragons puck as it comes out though. Wainwright at the point. Goes over, shot comes in from Jones. It's up high off the plexi and down. Spridgin comes over. Keeping that pressure on levers. But the Nottingham do enough to get it away. 8:23 on the clock.
Hello.
And Jones and Levers.
Levers was saying something to Jones there. And the officials cut straight in to stop it. But you could see there was something going off. Levers was saying something just as Spridgin sped away from him and the puck went down the ice. Him and Jones started throwing comments towards each other and something was said. Jones reacted and that gets him in the box.
So that penalty being assessed to Chris Jones, that means he's going to sit in the penalty box for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, I'm sure the Lions will be happy about that.
Well, they will, but here come the Dragons again. Davis unable to reel that in. And he's been a frustrator for them tonight, Gary. He's been everywhere all over the ice. The Dragons now desperately for this final 2 minutes. Shot comes in.
There you go. Hughes posted on that backside there. Puck comes across and he slams that home to give the Lions a 5-score lead in this game. It's now Dragons 1, Lions 6.
And there's the buzzer, Gary, and what a game it's been.
Well, what can you say? A feisty game, like we said, but the short bench Dragons struggled to put the puck in the net tonight. Constantly banging on that door, but didn't do it. And the game finishes, sadly, with the Dragons losing again tonight. It's Dragons 1, Lions 6. We're going to go down between the locker rooms right after this short break.
With Coach Bradbury of the Nottingham Lions. Coach, impressive performance out there for yourselves tonight.
Yeah, we got the job done. We came in with a bit of a game plan, and that was again to come out hard and not have a slow start here tonight. And I was quite pleased how we approached the game. And yeah, we got here, got the game done. We won all 3 periods, and ultimately we came here for the 2 points, and that's what we leave with.
Now, every time that Nottingham face Deeside, it's usually a bit of a fiery affair. Few tempers almost frayed there tonight, but well controlled by yourself on the bench. It's something that's being worked on throughout training, the discipline.
Yeah, we talk about discipline on the ice, we talk about discipline off the ice, and also patience. And the thing is, if we're patient, the more patient we can be, then it's key that we keep as many players on the ice as possible, which is always, we always want to have good discipline, and especially when you're playing against some of the top teams, it's kind of a little bit more tricky because obviously they train more than we do, and they get more, they can set their plays up, and literally it's a lot harder. But I think tonight we went a bit wayward in the second period. We weren't as happy with our second period performance, but our third period we were really happy how we won the period, but we also we put in a stronger performance.
Well, as a neutral, that third period was absolutely awesome to watch. It went both ways there. We've seen Nottingham a few times now undrop the puck throughout the seasons, and one of the things we always pick up on is great youth development there at Nottingham through the academy, obviously. This first season in the Moralee with the younger players stepping up as well, how have you found it?
Yeah, well, we knew it was always going to be tough, but we wanted to probably challenge ourselves to see where we're actually at, and I think that's given us that yardstick really. So we know where we're at. We knew we were going to be at the bottom end of the table. We knew that from the word go, but our goal was to stay in the division. With only one team getting relegated this season, we wanted to be in a position that we could actually, be in the mix during the off-season new regime, new opportunities for next season. See what the league decides it's going to look like, and we knew it was going to probably be changes going forward. So we thought we'd have a dabble in the season in the Moralee this season, and I don't think we've disgraced ourselves. We've done ourselves proud, and we've still lots of room for manoeuvring and improving. But we don't need to worry about next season yet. I think it's important that we finish the season strong, have a good break, and then reassess for next season.
Well, Coach Bradbury, congratulations on taking the points there tonight, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks very much.
And with Mark Levers and the Nottingham Lions. Mark, an impressive performance out there by yourselves tonight.
Yeah, we did what we needed to do. I think both teams had depleted numbers, but it was a battle at times. At times it looked like we had dinky-do out there, but we did all right. We did okay, and we got the win. So.
Was there a set game plan coming into the den tonight?
We had to get out quick. That was the plan. Didn't really, pan out, but like I say, we battled when we had to. Looked a little shaky as well at times, but we got there.
Now, a couple of special teams appearances there tonight. Is special teams being worked on prolifically there in training at Nottingham?
We try to. Obviously, it's a little hard when guys don't quite make games. A few injuries at the moment, a few illnesses, so struggles at times. But yeah, we try and emphasise on things.
And 2 hat-tricks according to our score sheets tonight for both Paul and Ruskin. They're obviously going to be happy with the performance. How are you finding it on the ice with those guys?
Hard work at times. They're dumb. No, it's good. No, it's good. It's nice to see them scoring goals. So all jokes aside, they worked hard tonight and got the goals.
Well, it was a really good performance by yourselves tonight, and we wish you best of luck for the future.
Thank you.
And with James Shaw of the D-side Dragons. James, your first home appearance in a Dragons share tonight. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's been a really good game. We might not have got the win, but the boys played really hard, and I can't say that we didn't play well. We played extremely well. Might not have got the result that we wanted, but everyone played really well, and we deserve to get a bit more goals on the board there.
Well, the line really looked confident out there tonight. How have you been skating in training together?
Yeah, we've been practicing a bit on moving the puck a lot more, which we proved today that we did really well. So I think it's just benefiting, and we're just growing it from here. Hopefully getting a bit more goals in and less conceding in the next games.
So looking ahead, what personal goals have you got to come out of this season?
I've just come for the experience, really. Is all these amazing guys that we've been playing with, it shows all about the experience. Maybe a couple of goals and assists here and there, but I'm here for the experience. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Brilliant. Well, James, we'll hope to catch you again soon in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And with captain of the Dragons, James Parsons. James, not the result you were looking for tonight, but still a good effort by the lads.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what it's about at the moment. We're in a bit of a tight spot, so tonight was a bit of a boost for us that we had a good performance, and everyone put a shift in tonight, so we could take something out of the game. Credit to Nottingham, they played hard all night, and they got a win.
Now, you guys wear short bench here tonight, but the lads seem to play their hearts out. What was said in the locker room between the periods to keep them going?
Just keep battling. We know it's going to be tough now. We've over half the teams left. So it's always going to be tough, and we're battling every game, and that's the way it's going to carry on to the end of the season now. So just carry on.
Now, focus turns to the rest of the season. What are the Dragons going to try and get out of this? Is it more of see the season out and rebuild again, or is it try and pinch the last couple of points where they can?
Well, we'll see what happens, but the main aim is to get to the end of the season, make sure there's a team here still, and like the young lads are coming on now, like Charlie and James Shaw is on tonight with us again, and they're doing really well, and it's good for them to get on and get the experience of playing in the senior league. So got stuff like that to look forward to for them. So.
Now, yourself personally, what goals are you hoping to get out of this?
Just wanting the team to carry on. There's been a few doubts over the last few months what's going to happen, and we're in January now, and we're looking all right. We've got a team here still, and make sure we're here to the end of the season.
Well, James, good luck for the future, mate. We'll catch you soon.
Thank you.
Well, a bit of a shock there, I must say. I honestly thought that the Dragons were going to get something out of this game, but Lions have come into town and they've done a job.
Certainly, it was. If I'm completely honest, that result does not reflect the game of hockey we just watched. The Dragons guys there, they fought to that final buzzer. They showed a lot of heart, skated their legs off. I don't know what more they could have done. Maybe a few sets of legs extra on the bench made it a bit more helpful.
Well, being short bench has certainly been detrimental to the Dragons. I mean, they've lost a lot of players over this season for various reasons, but having that D2 team has been helpful in one respect. And it was nice to see them blood the likes of Spridgeon tonight.
Yeah, so Charlie Spridgeon getting a call up from the Dragons 2 team. They've got a lot of talent in that Dragons 2 development pool. You know, just to mention a few, you've got the likes of Gez Evans, Michael Fico, Chris Keating, Sam Plant. All guys that, you know, I'm pretty sure if they got the call, could step up to Division 1 Moralee hockey and, you know, really put a good showing in for themselves.
It was good to see James Shaw getting on the ice. He gave a good account of himself tonight. So he looks a promising prospect for the future of the Dragons. Hopefully he'll stay with the club for next season. But going on tonight's game, that first period, it just looked like Nottingham had come to town to do a job. 3-0 in that first period, and you think to yourself, oh, here we go.
Yeah, very much so. I think the game plan was, you know, smash and grab hockey, get out there very quick, smash, get your goals in quickly, put them to bed and skate the rest of the, you know, the other 40 minutes out, do all your damage in the first period. Now we know coach Matt Bradbury likes to come to these side, prove a point, because he's always seen it as a little bit of a rivalry, you know, there's always that tension bubbling under the surface. But we know they're a very good development team. Nottingham obviously feed a team to the Nottingham Panthers Elite League. So a lot of, you know, young prospects and players come through that programme. And these sides always, you know, had a good lineage as well of developing young good players and sending them on the way. Except this time, you know, they've been caught out right in the middle of a development period. And, you know, Matt Bradbury will probably, you know, try and exploit that a little bit, use it to his advantage. You've got a core of guys at the moment here at D-side who are trying the best to, you know, see the season out. And I think in the situations like tonight, when they're fighting as hard as they did, and, you know, and then unfortunately goals go by the wayside, you know, 6-1. I said it at the start of this, it didn't reflect, you know, the effort put in by those guys on the ice.
No, you're quite right, because that second period, it looked like the Dragons were going to fight back and get something out of this. I mean, I was like, even the fans in the arena were quite excited. 2-1 it finished, and then you thought to yourself, they're back in this.
Very much so. That infamous D-side second gear shift, as we've seen all season on Drop the Puck. The thing is, though, they shift up and then immediately put it back in reverse, and it stung them all season so far. Yeah, 2-1 was a great period for them. 1-0 would have been better, obviously. But what we did see, though, was carry some of that momentum through to the third, and they only held the Lions to one individual goal.
Yeah, that was a great third period, and that's what we kind of want to see. But of course, that 6-1 result tonight, they're going into a game against Telford Tigers next here at the Den. That's two cats that they're playing in a matter of a week. It's going to be a tough task for them.
Yeah, D-side versus Telford, obviously one of my picks for the upcoming games for the rest of the season, back at that Christmas show. You've already had yours for Widnes Altrincham. It's my turn. And the big thing for me about it is the return of a lot of the ex-Dragons players to the Den, likes of Scott McKenzie, Philip Super, you know, Jonah Armstrong, Louis Morgan, seeing some of those guys ice back, seeing how to be received back on the ice.
Yeah, it will be an interesting case to see what happens. That'll be an exciting game. A game that you can catch here on Drop the Puck, same time and same channel every week. You can also catch us on BASN Radio on YouTube, where you can catch all our games. That's been us for this week. Catch us next week.